Last time we talked about boot verbs, we learned about E to I and E to IE. This time we'll look at O to UE and U to UE right after this. Hola, yo soy Ricardo. Yo tengo sueño porque duermo poco. Mi hijo duerme poco también. Mi esposa y mi hija duermen más, duermen mucho. Nosotros dormimos más los fines de semana. ¿Y tú? ¿Cuántas horas duermes? ¿Puedes contar en español? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Yo puedo contar en varios idiomas. ¿Recuerdas mi lección de números? Quiero mostrarte mis teléfonos. Este es un Nokia. Usa Windows. Este es un Samsung Note 8. Usa Android. Este es un Samsung Note 7. Es un secreto. No puedo mostrarte mi iPhone XR. Uso mi iPhone XR para este video. Te muestro mi iPhone otro día. Mi Nokia cuesta poco dinero. Mi Note 7, Note 8 y iPhone XR cuestan más. ¿Cuesta más tu teléfono o tu computadora? ¿Cuáles son tus sueños? ¿Sueñas con viajar? ¿Sueñas con comprar una casa? ¿Sueñas con tener más dinero? ¿Sueñas con Ryan Gosling? Si viajas, tienes que volar. Yo vuelo mucho con Delta. La familia de mi hermana no vuela con Delta, nunca. ¿Vuelas con frecuencia? ¿A dónde vuelas? Es la hora de almorzar. Mi familia y yo almorzamos a mediodía. ¿A qué hora almuerzas tú? In my last video, I introduced you to the concept of the boot verb. We have verbs that experience changes in what looks like the form of a boot. So let's look at one common O to UE verb. Contar, to count. Cuento, cuentas, cuenta. Contamos, contáis, cuentan. Everything you've learned before about AR verbs still works with the endings of boot verbs. What changes is the form in yo, tú, él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes. The stem of the verb will change from O to UE. Thus, it happened that way with contar. It will happen that way with almorzar, almuerzo, almuerzas, almuerza, almorzamos, almorzáis, almuerzan. So the two verb forms that are outside of the boot, the ones for nosotros and vosotros, those roots do not experience any changes, or those stems don't experience any changes. So contamos, almorzamos. So why don't we change the O to UE in nosotros, vosotros? I know there's a very long linguistic answer for that, and you probably wouldn't be interested in that very long history here if you're watching this type of video. For jugar in the present tense, we say juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, jugáis, juegan. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to some of the forms that I used in the dialogue. I used two verbs together, like I did in the first episode on boot verbs. This time, I said, quiero mostrarte. Mostrar is the verb you use when you want to show someone something. Quiero mostrarte mis teléfonos. I'd like to, or I want to, show you my phones. But where was the you part in that? Quiero mostrarte. The you part, te, was attached to the infinitive verb. Quiero mostrarte un teléfono o mis teléfonos. Then, at the end of that train of thought, I said, te muestro mi iPhone XR otro día. Te muestro. So who's going to be showing their iPhone to whom? I will show it to you another day. Te muestro. Yo te muestro. A different word order than in English. In the last video, I also talked about how some verbs are followed by a preposition when you're going to be using a second verb in that's connected to that verb, kind of connected. For example, I talked about comenzar a, comienzo a trabajar, empezar a, empiezo a grabar el video. Those verbs have prepositions there. Not all verbs need prepositions in the middle of two verbs like that. But the reason you have that preposition is because the first verb requires a preposition. And I can leave a link for you down below of some lists that you can see. And there are going to be a whole bunch of verbs there. And I don't expect you to memorize them all right away. But anyway, in this lesson, do you remember when I used a verb and followed that with a preposition before putting in another verb? Well, it was soñar con. In Spanish, when you have a dream, when you dream of something, you have to use con if you're going to use another verb, or if you're going to use the name of a person. So I said, sueñas con viajar, soñar con viajar. Do you dream about traveling? I also said, sueñas con Ryan Gosling. Do you dream about Ryan Gosling? There was no second verb there. But if you're going to follow soñar with a noun or verb, you need to use con. You don't need to use con if you're not going to follow soñar with anything. Todas las noches yo sueño. Every night I dream. That's just one of the verbs that will need a preposition from time to time. Another verb I mentioned that will be very useful for you to know is costar. So I told you about how much the phone costs. I was talking about that. But what if I ask, how much does a phone cost? Or how much does an item cost? If I'm looking at one thing, I will say, ¿cuánto cuesta? Let's say I want to know how much the television costs. ¿Cuánto cuesta? If I want to know how much several things cost, then I will ask, ¿cuánto cuestan? Cuesta if it's singular, cuestan if it's plural, or if they're plural. ¿Cuánto cuesta el carro? ¿Cuánto cuestan las sillas? ¿Cuánto cuesta la mesa? ¿Cuánto cuestan los sillones? It's very useful to know if you're going to be traveling in a Spanish-speaking country. Bueno amigos, muchas gracias and thank you for joining me in another episode of The Spanish Doctor. Leave a comment down below using one of these new O to UE or U to E verbs. Suscríbete, échame un me gusta y nos vemos. Adiós.